So it started with a story on NPR about podcast contest that students could participate in starting in 5th grade at each of our schools, Manzanita and Botana Vista. We thought it'd be a great way to get kids involved in participating in something that had real-world applications like a contest, but also being able to explore learning of a creative digital tool like creating a podcast.
That's weird.
Each school has taken the project and sort of made it their own. So at Botana Vista, we are doing the project in the immersion classrooms as well as the English classrooms. At Botana Vista, the teachers there also made it their own by deciding to embed the project into the science content standards that they were already teaching. So the students were researching famous scientists and then creating a podcast through that lens.
The podcast challenge is something for it's like a radio contest, I'm pretty sure, where we enter podcasts on famous scientists that we have researched. Like me, I'm doing Thomas Edison.
So we're doing about Charles Darwin. He is a naturalist. You have to sleep. Our script for what we're doing is right here.
At Manzanita, we took more of a project-based learning approach where students could essentially come up with whatever topic they wanted for their podcast and create it from there. So at each school, we have a variety of topics.
Your podcast.
Do students have too much homework?
What did you find out?
I found out that a lot of parents are really tired of helping their children with their homework and stuff, and they don't want to work on it anymore.
So I've noticed that students are extremely engaged in the project from the get-go. Not necessarily everyone knew what a podcast was, so it was kind of interesting to explore that learning with the students of what is a podcast, why are they important, who listens to them, what do you learn from them, what are the different topics that are covered in podcasts.
Number 1, he knows what the speed of light looks like.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, or the man who killed Pluto, was born in 1958 and graduated high school.
Music in the background, please.
I've also noticed that, especially with the students who have been picking their own topics, they've really taken the learning and the sort of importance of what they're learning to a really deep level because they do have the ownership of deciding exactly what their podcast is going to be about.
In the articles that I read, that people's stress levels are actually getting higher when they do homework.
Choose to do social media.
Because I really want social media, and my mom doesn't want me to have it until I'm 13. So I wanted to kind of see why she doesn't want me to have it.
And so what do you think now that you've done all this research?
It's also sort of flipped kind of the traditional power dynamic between teachers and students because students have been able to actually interview their teachers for their podcast, so they're able to ask them interesting questions and find out things about their lives that they might not find out normally in the daily instruction.
She taught us that it wouldn't be called foreign languages because that's kind of like a negative way to put it. I think that's what she said, but it would be world languages.
Additionally, we have students at Manzanita that have interviewed our principal about some of our school policies and really pushed her to explain why we have some of the policies that we do have at school. So it's been interesting to see kids understand our school and our teachers from a different perspective.
If kids need more school lunchtime than they actually get, and how much more school lunchtime kids should get.
What do you think?
I think we should have around 25 to 45 minutes because kids need to relax and socialize to actually learn manners and learn how to talk to their peers. I found them by searching up how much lunchtime kids actually get, and by Harvard made a website about it.
So are you going to share what you found with your principal?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to share it with her and see if we should have 30 minutes.
Okay.
At Ventana Vista, students really pushing the envelope in terms of their learning with having to do the podcast in a different language. I personally have never created a podcast in another language. It's hard enough for me just to understand it. So these kids are creating the content, they're writing their scripts in another language, they're recording sound effects and doing all sorts of things in their target language, which has really been fascinating and I think has really helped them to build vocabulary and deepen their learning in that way.
1920. Ella murió en 1958. Y ella vive a través de Segunda
So
Guerra.
another thing that has really been interesting in watching this project is how much each teacher in each fifth grade classroom at both schools have been willing to put into this project. It's not something that's built into what we already do, so they've really had to put in a lot of effort to help plan the project and build out the logistics for the students to help them be successful. And it's been a really big time investment for them and for me, but I know it's really been worth it, and I've been really impressed by how much the teachers have been willing to do it because of how engaging it's been for their students and how much learning has been taking place